said that they outgrew our facility. That's a fact.
Listen, all I'm saying is this: you went over there. I appreciate all the work you're putting in. I'm just telling you, those kids deserve. They're residents of the city. They deserve, and there are kids. They're Liberty High School kids. They left there because they felt like, not just those kids. You know, I know they're minority kids, and I know they're wealthy, but it has
nothing to do. It has nothing to do with race.
I know that, but what I'm saying is, we already established the fact that that kids can't afford. Why do we charge? Hold on a second.
No, stop. Because
no,
the kids you're talking about are traveling all over the country to 5-star resorts.
Why do we
playing in upscale events?
Why do we charge?
And you want the city of Bethlehem to subsidize them for free?
Hold on a second. Why do we, Mr. Evans? Why do we charge adults $24 for an 18 round of golf and we charge kids 16?
The golf course is, as we talked, and that's a lot of the talk the last half hour has been, it's an enterprise fund expected to carry its own day, carry its own weight, and operate as a business. So
why do we charge kids
what we
less?
look to is industry standards. When you look across at any golf course, what they do, what we can do to make that business succeed as a business. Does anyone else do it? We don't see that. What kind of rates do we do? We look at all our comparables and find out what's the best opportunity for this place to succeed at the most efficient way to do it. But right now, the range does very well. People are very happy. The number of complaints is, again, very, very small circle. It's not large. We don't get emails and phone calls outside a real small group. So we want to continue to run it to be accessible. We think the 9-hole, if you're going to go and play and want to go play around the golf and explore the sport, that's, I think, $12 for a round. So if you can do it, you can do it. But I don't think it's in the best business model to just be able to make changes that aren't supported as an industry or Lehigh Valley or regional, anywhere else in the region to do that. And then to be the first one to do that, I don't know if that's a road we want to venture into. That's just where we stand.
All right. So I'm asking the question: why do we charge $16 for an 18-hole round of golf for kids and $24 for adults?
Because that's the industry standard. That's what we look around.
Well, it's because children cannot. Please. Well, I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, there's no press here. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Why we're charging kids less? Because they can't afford it. That's why. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Come on. So why would we charge a kid $10 for a bucket of balls that we charge an adult? That's how they're getting better. That's like charging your parents $10 for you to go drill for a half hour. You can't afford that. I know they're wealthy kids that are over it, but I'm saying there's no junior golfers aren't over there that much anymore. I'm just telling you, they're not. And I'm not just talking about the rich kids. I'm talking about kids that can't afford it. They can't afford to hit it.
Maybe we walked out when Mrs.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Grace was
you
talking.
weren't here, but I did ask
conversation.
Mr. Kelcher. I said, I'm a real advocate for services for kids because I work in a high school too. Especially kids that are at risk and disadvantaged, because I see the difference between the kids I work with. If they have opportunities, they go this way. And if they don't, they're in the gangs.
Keeping them off the street. That's what I wanted.
But if I can finish, what I did was I asked him to please be open to opportunities for all kids, especially the disadvantaged and at risk. And I'm tickled pink to see that they're starting, I mean, it's just starting the First Tee program where they offer free golf to
we're actually expanding it.
Right. Can you more to touch on that so Mr. Callahan can understand it?
Yeah, the First Tee comes to our facility and uses it for free, and
For kids.
it's terrific.
Is there a process that the kid applies for the First Tee program?
There's a
It's all
website.
kids, or
There's a website, and they have to pay. I think it's a nominal amount that they pay, and if they can't afford it, there's scholarship opportunities, and it's right on the website.
And right now, it's housed in the Bethlehem Boys Club on Fritz Drive.
And there's a couple I know.
That's a boys club I grew up in.
Burks.
I listen. I don't want to beat a dead horse. All I'm saying is this: I believe that we already established that kids can't afford, whether they're First Tee kids or not. We're already charging them less for an 18 a round of golf. We already established that. I don't want to hear any mumble. We already know that kids can't pay that. We should have kids over there. We don't, Larry. That's the one thing. It's beautiful. It's awesome. There's no kids over there anymore.
There's plenty of kids there.
Yeah, I go there a lot in the summer. Then when we visit, that does well. And also the Liberty, one opportunity that the golf course does offer is that Liberty, I know it's the only one in the Valley, that Liberty, Freedom, and Becca, all three of their teams, if you join that team, you play for free, use the range for free all throughout that season. So that's weeks and weeks.
They're using the range for free?
Yeah. they
During the
rotate through
season.
during the
If they're
season.
on the team.
How
during
many
the
buckets
season-
they get? They get one bucket.
Mr. Waldron, can I ask some questions about the budget?
Excuse me, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
Very
asking the
rude.
president.
I'm asking a financial matter about a bucket. So right now, I take a seat for a second. 'Cause
No,
I
I'm
think you're
asking the president.
I
I'm
think
actually
you're
not
being
talking.
rude. I'm asking a financial question during a
Mr.
budget
Waldron,
hearing.
I'm addressing you.
Thank you. Do you have a little bit more here, or is this?
Give me a couple more minutes. I'm sure she's going to come up with something else. So all I'm asking is this. We already established the fact that kids can't afford an 18 roundabout. All I would do is
You've tried
all-
to establish that
all-
fact.
I would like to
This is really about a really small group of people
No,
that can't
it's
afford
not.
it. Yes,
It's
it
not.
is.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
You may think that,
We
Larry.
host the YWCA, we host Special Olympics, we host the First Tee, we host three
Larry,
high
your
schools.
comment to me was that if I know a kid that can't afford to come talk to you, that's not your job to arbitrarily charge this kid and this kid a certain
It's
amount.
not, and it's not
It's
yours
not.
either.
That's why I'm trying to establish a instead of $10, $5, or maybe give them. How much do we charge kids for a season pass? A season pass. How much? What's a season pass for kids? I'm not talking 18 hole. I'm talking a season pass.
Do you have a
I'm
point
almost-
where you're
I-
going?
$550.
$550 for students.
Yeah.
How much for adults?
Up to $1,200.
$1,200. We're charging them half or less than half. That's my point. You're already telling me that we already know that there's a need for kids to have a lesser fee, not only with the 18 hole, but also the season pass. But we're sticking it to them on the golf
We're not
range.
sticking it to anybody.
Listen,
This is industry
I'm done.
standards.
I'm
and this-
done.
This
I'm
is a
done.
business.
I know.
This is a
It's
business.
a business.
And this is an industry standard.
So why not charge the kids the same amount of money for a season pass?
Because that's what the industry does.
I'm done. Thank you.
I think we've heard nothing but positive things about the golf course.
I agree. And the first 5 minutes I spoke, I listen, I'm 100%.
No one
afford it.
has interrupted
ju-
you when
I'm
you're
just saying.
speaking, and you've interrupted just about everyone in this room.
No, she interrupted me.
She wanted to, but she stopped out of decency.
Adam,
Out of
listen to
human-
me.
of
Your job's to be
respect.
president, okay? I'm asking questions, fair questions.
Okay.
You may not like what I'm asking, but I'm asking a fair question. Your job's to be fair to me too. And I'm asking a financial question during a budget hearing that he didn't want to answer, and neither Mr. Evans. And I'm calling him out on it. I agree. I'm calling that. Hey,
I answer,
listen.
but I
I
answer.
agree with 100% of this 99.99% of stuff they're doing. I don't agree with charging kids the same amount of money as adult. We've already established that price, not only with an 18 hole, but with a season pass. Thanks, I'm done, and I appreciate you being so kind to me tonight. Man, oh man.
I think everyone in the room has agreed that the golf course has taken a positive turn, and there's been some,
I agree.
again, no one has interrupted you and allowed you to ramble on incoherently for a long amount of time. With
How was that incoherent?
please stop.
I'm asking a question. You may not like it, but I'm asking a question, a financial.
Clearly, you have some motive based on a personal relationship that you're trying to advocate for a specific person, which you have done time and time again from different things, from the golf course to paving contracts to
What
economic
paving
development.
contracts have I ever talked about?
You're kidding me?
Are you? What paving contracts? If I have residents that come to me and ask me questions and I agree with it, what's the difference? And Olga's talking about representing the Hispanic population all the time. I don't ever question her because that's who talks to her about that. Is that wrong for her to talk about the things that she cares about?
My point being, I think the golf course is on a really good positive
is.
trend, and
It
I don't
is.
think it should be the role of any council person to micromanage specific pricing from things to rounds of golf to prices of balls, because we have absolutely no power or say in that decision anyway. That should be left to the experts who are living.
We approve, do we not approve of the pricing of the Mr. Evans? Do we vote on that? Do we vote on that, Mr. Evans, yes or no?
If it's proposed, we haven't proposed any.
Well, yeah, I know why you didn't, but normally we do. Don't we normally, we have voted before for golf rates to go up, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, we have voted before for the season passes to go up. It is under council's purview, that's all I'm saying. It didn't come up this year for a convenient reason.
But it is not our role to micromanage the price of golf balls.
Mr. Waldron, all I'm saying is this, we already established that kids can't afford the same amount as an adult.
No, we
on-
have
On
not.
everything. Yeah, we have. He just told us kids are paying half the price
No.
for,
You're stating that as a fact. It's not a
whatever.
Repeatedly, both Mr. Evans,
Let Miss Van Wert over there ramble on what she wants to talk about.
the amount of disrespect you're showing for the administration as well as your fellow members of council.
Who said,
is really
someone said
astonishing.
ramble on to me just 5 seconds ago. Was that you?
No.
Yeah,
No. I said ramble incoherently because
Yeah.
nobody in here
That's
knows
not
what you're
disrespect.
talking about.
What do you mean? I'm pretty clear what I'm talking about. He understands what I'm talking about.
Yes, it seems like you're advocating for one specific family.
No, I'm not. It's multiple families.
Clearly, you've had this conversation with him previously.
I have.
Exactly.
But don't tell me that I'm being disrespectful when you just said the same exact words back to me prior. You did. And you've also were very disrespectful to me at the last meeting when you said, I don't think he's going to pick you or select you. That is, Mr. Waldron, I'm just telling you. Hey, I've had people call me the next day and say, that's very unprofessional.
Point of order,
So-
President Waldron.
Point of
I think
order.
we have another member of
Yes,
the
please, let her
council
speak.
that
Let
would
her
like to speak.
Please let her do.
Thank you. I'll be very brief. I was pretty tough on the decision initially to fund this golf course, but once it was made, I'm all for it. And I'm so proud of what you've done. It's clear it's on the right path. And my thanks is to you. I did have 2 little tiny questions, almost just to educate me more than anything else. Under line item 42047, department contracts have almost quartered. And I just wondered what you did differently there so that they went from an average of like 105,000 down to 31,600 this year.
We now own the carts, and we were leasing the carts before. and
Great.
Rather than get back into another lease, we own them, and then we have a contract where they get serviced every Monday. And over the winter, that company takes the carts and services them. So it's a big savings, and we can probably get 5 years out of the carts.
Sounds like a good decision. My second one is more housekeeping. In the revenue column, you have the St. Luke's sponsorship listed, but you also have the same line item in expenditures, line item 42061. I didn't understand that from an accounting perspective.
So yeah, we're just showing that it's kind of budget neutral. They're giving us next year 20,000 in revenue, and then Larry just wanted to have a separate account to show them what the money was spent on.
Okay, so we don't have it kind of budgeted for what we're going to spend that money on yet because it's showing up in the
The
expenses just as
initial-
itself.
Yeah, the initial amount, we actually, it was very specific, and going forward, it's not specific.
Okay, that's all. I just wanted to understand it from an accounting perspective. That's all. And thank you for everything you've done and for your patience tonight.
Mr. Clone?
Thank you. Just 2 quick ones, piggybacking off Dr. Van Wert's question about St. Luke's. So they gave us 40,000 this year, and that went directly towards upgrades to the driving range.
Correct. And to staff uniforms. Because again, most of these, all of our employees take pride in what they do. And, I worked there as a part-time employee, and I would pay out of my own pocket to wear something with a logo on it. And I just thought it'd be a nice touch to get, reward these people with, it's basically a golf shirt, a hat, and a jacket, but it says staff. And also it makes it easily identifiable who is a staff member. Whereas before, everybody would wear whatever they'd happen to wear, and you didn't know if they were a customer or an employee. So.
Well, I think that's a great idea. In any business, standardizing the dress code of all the employees, because like you said, it helps for the customers and it just lifts the sense of professionalism on the course. So whosever idea that was, great idea. And then for 2020, I see St. Luke's is budgeted for 20,000. Has that already been a verbal commitment? Is that money guaranteed for next year?
It's contractual. It's for the next 4 years.
20,000 a year for the next 4 years?
Correct.
And is that money, is it already decided where that money will be allocated for 2020?
I haven't made a definitive decision, but probably somewhere at the range.
Understood.
Because again, in the original plan, there was nothing earmarked for the range.
Okay. And then my last question, a couple points about the part-time employees, which you said there's about 30
35.
in the 30s. And that's right now we would have less. In the summer we would have more. Or is that year round? It's 35?
Oh, no, it ebbs and flows
Yeah,
with
exactly.
the time of year, the length of the day,
And you said they make $7.25 an hour?
$7.20 to $10 an hour.
Well, and I think that speaks highly of them, considering that we had conversations 2 summers ago that we couldn't get some of our local youth to climb a lifeguard station, sit in a chair in the summer for a certain dollar amount an hour. And to have men and women out there they're not doing it for the money and taking pride in what they're doing with actual pulling weeds, digging, mowing, things like that.
Cashier, starter, ranger, cleaning carts, cleaning bathrooms.
Like you alluded to before, which I think again deserves note, where you gave the credit to those staff. You know, they're putting in days in the summer heat, doing some of the things that others maybe wouldn't want to do just for a sense of pride in their work. We heard tonight about, with the police department, obviously different line of work, but looking at staffing, and I alluded to in recreation, the lifeguards, where we had issues finding lifeguards this past summer, and now some of the more seasonal positions. Have you had any issues filling any of these part-time spots, or are you getting a steady flow of applicants?
On the grounds crew, I worked with Michelle in HR and got a really early start late last fall. And we were fortunate to pick up everybody who came to work had experience working on a golf course. So we're limited to 1,500 hours for the year by law. So they're winding down now. And just basically the difference is if it's a rainy day or bad weather's coming, we just call them off. Whereas before with the full-time, they were coming in basically even if there was nothing to do. So, and we were able to basically staff with 3 seasonal part-timers for every one past full-time employee. But we were very fortunate. Now the key is going to be to try and retain them and get them back again next year, because we already went through the learning curve of our course, our equipment, operationally, the expectation. But yeah, we have a very good crew.
I know there's not a lot of room to increase kind of the hourly wage. Is there any incentives with the course for the employees if they wanted to play, depending on when their shift started or ended?
It's
to
a good
play
question.
around?
On the ground side, they're so tired from being outside in the weather and working their shift that they really don't take advantage of playing golf, or not nearly as much. On the operations side, the golf operations side, where you have a lot of recently retired employees, that's their perk is to play golf. And it might be 3 holes before their shift or 6 holes after their shift, or 18 holes here and there, but that's their perk. They like being around golf. They like being outside, but more than anything, they take pride in the facility and the job that they do.
Well, I think it's a good and fair incentive. Again, given that we're not going to be able to give them much more than what they're already getting. And if they're fans of the game, and obviously everyone's, the proof is in the pudding when you go over there and see the work that everyone's putting into it. I think that's more than fair. It's just something I thought about before. But those were all my questions. Again, thanks to you and everybody over there for the job that's being done. Thank you, President Walter.
Thank you. And one more question. What is the current relationship status with the restaurant operator?
as far as them being a tenant or?
Yeah, I mean, I know we recently, Mr. Evans renegotiated the contract so that it was more appropriate to market rate. And I know there had previously been some strain there with that relationship with the previous operator. So I was just wondering how that was playing out.
It's fluid. It's a fluid situation. I mean, it's been contentious to say the least.
Sure.
And again, we bring 34,000 rounds of golf to that facility, and I don't feel that necessarily the golfer, our customer, is, you know, I don't want to say being rewarded, but has all the amenities being offered to them that would enhance the experience for our golf customer. But we're working through it and with the owner, and I think we'll have resolution within the next month.
Yeah, I guess that
Yeah.
I would.
And the other
Not
side of
expand on
that,
that,
the
but
other
the-
side of that is contractually in the contract, in the new lease, which was negotiated. If you're coming to me to have a golf outing, you don't have to use the restaurant for your outing underneath the pavilion. You can have it catered. And that's been a plus for the golf course because we were losing outings because of that piece of the puzzle.
Sure.
You know, and other golf courses other than Allentown Municipal, they benefit from food and beverage, you know, profitability.
Right.
So,
And you're bringing potentially 34,000 customers to them for them to serve.
Their business is as ours has had a good year. Their business also had a very good year, and the owner will tell you that their successful build is based on our successful build, and yeah, we continue to work on that relationship. So that things are maybe shifting next 30 days, not with ownership, but in other areas.
It would be nice to see more of a partnership in
Yeah.
which support can benefit both parties equally, because when
Absolutely.
one is doing well, the other one can do well. Just like in any relationship.
There's an big opportunity for a win-win in this one. So.
I would hope so. Well, things obviously have turned